We'll wait for 1 minute if anybody wants to join. Okay, I think we can start. Okay, so this session is going to be an introduction session for meditation. Okay, um, and yeah, the title you must have seen. Yeah, so let me start. I think you know me already, so I'll still introduce myself. I am Ramakrishnan. People know me as Ramki, and I have been teaching Art of Living programs for the last 12 plus years. And so in this session, which is titled, Am I Too Young for Meditation? Many people say this, I am too young now. I will do meditation later, maybe after I cross 40, something like that. You have heard many people saying this, isn't it? So there are many underlying assumptions when they say that, isn't it? First thing they say, I mean, their assumption is that often, I'm too busy, you know, so meditation will take away my time. So I don't want to do it right now. When I get all my things done, when I get a lot of time, then I will do it. So this is one of the assumptions they make, right? That they don't have time, isn't it? So another assumption is, they think meditation is only for very serious people. I want to enjoy my life, so I will not do meditation right now because I have to enjoy my life. Right? So later time when I become very serious, then I will look into meditation. Yeah. So this is one other assumption they have, right? I'm going to be addressing all of this. And any other, so yeah, one other thing is, it's not fashionable, isn't it? So many people think, if their friends come to know that I'm meditating, then they think they will have a wrong impression upon him or her, right? They will start thinking, oh, this person is going into some other world. Mm, so, right? So they think it is not cool to meditate. This is another assumption. So I want to bust all of these assumptions first, right? Then I will go into more benefits of doing the meditation, right? First of all, when they say that they don't have time, it's very interesting because you don't have time, that's exactly why you need to meditate. you know why one does not have time? Have you thought about this? See, whether it's the prime minister of the country or anybody on the street, everyone has got the same 24 hours. How come some people are able to do more things within that 24 hours than the others? So if you look into it, you will already get the answer, right? The very reason that we are not able to use the time that we have got in hand is because we are not able to focus on things that is in front of us, isn't it? Suppose you are given a task and you have to execute it within 30 minutes. Are we able to fully focus on that task for the entire 30 minutes? Many times no. Correct? Why? Because the mind is going all the time past, future, like like a pendulum. It's oscillating all the time, past, future, past, future, past, future, right? It's not being in the present moment, correct? So this is one of the things that we need to look at. Why is the mind going past, future, and past, future, and why are we not able to fully focus on the thing that is in front of us, right? But and how do we get out of it, out of this nature? So one thing, we can assume that it is the nature of the mind. Maybe it is true, mind is always in this journey between the past and the future, especially when it goes to the past. Most of the emotions that we have is all negative. Very rarely we cherish the past memories. Most of the time we feel regretful about the past, and we feel sad about things that has happened, or we feel guilty about it, right? When it goes to the future, then what happens? Many times we are becoming anxious about the future, right? We are fearful. What will happen to me? What will happen to my life, right? So all these are the emotions that we go through when our mind goes to the past and the future, and seldom we come to the present moment. And only in the present moment you can do the task in front of you, right? So in a 30 minutes time, maybe 5 or 10 minutes is the time that you are completely in the present moment, and that's the time you are being fully efficient. So the overall efficiency is so low, and that's why you're saying I don't have time. Whereas, you know there are several other people, it could be the prime minister or anybody, who is able to do so many things within that same time, right? So the secret here is meditation. The moment you start doing the meditation, you actually start gaining time in your sense of time. What you were saying, that I don't have time. So the opposite of it is you start gaining the time. That essentially means that your efficiency improves, right? Whichever time you put in, you are able to fully be present 100% during that time, right? So this whole assumption, when a young person says I don't have time to do meditation, is completely wrong. In fact, because the person is not having time, they have to do meditation to gain time. You see what I'm saying? So it is so imperative that people who complain that I don't have time has to do the meditation first. They are the first people to do the meditation. You understand? You get it? You agree with me? Yeah. So that assumption is crossed. So another assumption that I talked about is, they say that, I want to enjoy my life. Their assumption is meditation is not an enjoyment. That's not true. People who are attending here, who have already done meditation, they can understand what I'm talking about. In fact, when you do the meditation, you gain the capacity to enjoy anything that is in front of you. You see what I'm saying? Many times people are too narrow in their ability, in their capacity to enjoy things. Their capacity is so narrow, like the bandwidth, whatever you may call that, right? Whereas when you do meditation, you go into the depth of yourself, and you see that anything is in front of you, you are able to fully enjoy thorough. Even, as simple as eating a chocolate, just like a child. A child is having more ability, more capacity to enjoy things than a youth who are like maybe 20, 25 years old. By the time they reach that age, their ability to even enjoy that becomes so less, right? Isn't it? So their field of enjoyment is also very narrowed down, right? Because, see, the real enjoyment is happening because of your own self, right? Unless you get in touch with your own self, you are not able to enjoy things. You are not able to even do things 100%, right? So if you really want to enjoy your life, you have to meditate, right? The whole statement that I want to enjoy my life, I won't do meditation now, I will look into it later, is completely wrong. That assumption is completely wrong, right? If you just the very reason that you want to enjoy your life, you have to meditate, right? You see, you agree to what I'm saying now also? So the third, another assumption is what? They think it's not cool or it's not fashionable to do meditation. That's not true. It's completely changing now. If you really see, with all the latest research, the whole world is moving towards meditation. That is the fashion statement now, right? If at all there is a the most cool thing on the earth that anybody can call as a fashion statement, it is meditation. You go to any part of the world, you go to any corporate, this has become the buzzword, meditation. So you, if you are thinking that it is not fashionable, it is your own assumption. You are in some other, you are in your own world of assumptions, right? That's not true, right? You see what I'm saying? See, another aspect what we just touched upon, the ability to enjoy or to be happy. Meditation is a must because meditation is one of the most important sources of energy. If you see, if you're low in energy, you cannot meditate, or sorry, you cannot be happy. Yeah, if you are low in energy, see, can somebody be super happy having very less energy level? It is not possible, right? Whereas, irrespective of the reasons around, if one has lot of energy, the person will be always happy. Take the example of child again. Why is the child always happy? Because the child is bubbling with energy, with enthusiasm. There is so much of energy in a child. Even if you hold a child, the child does not remain in one position. It moves here, there, isn't it? So the child has enormous energy. So that is why it's always happy. Even if it cries, before even the tears dry up, it already starts smiling and starts playing. Correct? So the child is so happy. Likewise, anybody who has lot of energy will invariably be happy. So if you really want to be happy in your life, you have to meditate, because meditation is one of the most important sources of energy. There are, of course, other sources. You have food, you have a sleep, even you can rely on the tool, which is the breath, right? Breath also gives a lot of energy, but meditation is also a very important source of energy. 20 minutes of energy, it gives, that amount of rest equivalent to 4 to 5 hours of sleep. That much of energy you gain. Yeah. And much beyond, actually, when you are getting in touch with you, which is a source of your happiness, which is a source of your energy, you tap into that source, and when you come out, you feel so energetic, so enthusiastic, you are able to take on any challenge in front of you, right? So gaining energy, thereby being happy, this ability you can get by doing meditation. Yeah. So what are the other aspects of meditation? What are the different advantages or different benefits of doing meditation? Yeah, we can see briefly some of them, right? See, one of the things is, as I said, when when you gain energy, you are being happy, and that ability you gain by doing the meditation. Yeah, that's for sure. Actually, if you see among the youth, especially, there is a tendency that whenever things go wrong, they automatically go into two extremes, either of the two extremes. What are those? Either they become very aggressive. When things don't go wrong, see, when things go wrong, when the things don't go right, when the things don't go their way, they become too aggressive, if you have seen, right? That is one extreme. The other extreme is they become depressed, right? Have you seen this happening in the world? Many people who are becoming either very aggressive in their behavior, or they become very depressed So these two are happening, which are very easy to reach. These extremes are easy to reach. One can easily fall into either of these extremes. That does not help neither that person nor the society. The aggressive behavior results in a lot of problems in the society, isn't it? And even the depression leads to even people committing suicide, right? So what is the answer? It's again meditation, because when you start doing meditation, what happens? You go deeper within you, you become very centered, and from that space you're able to handle any challenge. Even if things don't go your way, you're able to find out other ways to do things. That ability to handle things, handle challenges, that comes from the space, when you get in touch with yourself through meditation, right? Because see, what is the sign of youthfulness? Whether you take anything that comes as either a challenge or as a problem. What is the difference between a problem and a challenge? See, the situations can be the same. Suppose somebody is in the middle of a forest. Okay, that person is kind of lost. This same situation, a person might feel completely lost and feel very worried, being anxious. How will I get out of this? But the sign of youth is what? They are fearless. They even they take it as a challenge. They actually treat it as an adventure. Adventure is what? Getting into jungle, right? There is adventure, they say, right? Why? Because there's a thrill. See, that is sign of youthfulness. So the same situation can either be changed into an adventure or see it as a problem, right? So when you start meditating, there is an element of faith that dawns. Only good things will happen to me. So with that faith comes that element of adventure, thrill. So you are able to take risks. Without taking risks, there is no way you can progress in life. Do you agree with me? If you are not taking risks at all, you are, in a shell. You are confined to a comfort zone, right? Without coming out of that shell, you cannot even grow. And growth is the sign of youth, correct? So in order to grow in your life, you should be able to take that risk. And how that attitude comes? By doing meditation. When you start doing meditation, you gain that ability to break the barriers, break out from the comfort zone. Yeah. So this is a very important step that one needs to take, and that can be done with the help of meditation. Yeah. See, there are many other benefits, even physically. There are so many things that several researchers have already proven that, for example, meditation has a healing effect, right? Even it improves the function of several bodily systems. We have our own cardiovascular system, digestive system, respiratory system. All these systems function so well when you start doing the meditation. This is well proven, right? And also, balancing of the blood pressure, right? Because especially people who are having hypertension, for example, this is so beneficial. The medical community vouches for it now, right? And also, many of the age related problems, for example, it could be memory loss, right? Even these get addressed very easily through meditation. As you start meditating, these are, many of these age related problems, they get stopped completely. You regain a younger biological age by doing the meditation. It's the same case even with the sleep patterns. As people age, people lose the ability to sleep sound, but when you start meditating, you are able to sleep much better too. Yeah. And even, many of the bodily pains, they go away as you start meditating, right? So these are some of the body level benefits. So but we are not just the body, we are complex, body mind complex, isn't it? So even at the mind level, if you really see, As I told even earlier, the mind comes to totally in the present moment. Otherwise, you cannot bring the mind to the present moment easily. There is no, at the level of the mind, it is impossible. Suppose, let's say, I tell you, don't think about that red monkey sitting next door. You will you will only think about that, isn't it? So you cannot control your mind at the level of your mind. You need a tool. Of course, breath is one tool, and even meditation. When you start doing the meditation, the mind can be easily controlled, and it comes to the present moment automatically. There is no effort in it. As you start meditating, the mind remains in the present moment, and it also results in increased focus. You're able to have better creativity, and even your intuitive abilities improve. You need these abilities, because without that you cannot even take decisions. For example, you are in a position where you have to take some important decisions. If you really look into it, most of the decisions come from the space of creative space or intuitive space, and this abilities can dawn very easily when you start doing the meditation. Yeah. And even the clarity of thought, it's very important that you need clarity of thought to do any task in your life, especially when you are in a position where you need to take decisions and you need to execute things. Clarity of thought is very important. See, many times what happens, our intellect is clouded with so many mind is bombarded with so many thoughts, so many happenings, so many impressions, that does not allow you to think clearly, right? But as you start meditating, these clouds go away, they get cleared, and you gain the ability to focus. You gain the ability to that clarity of thought comes automatically. And also, one need to be aware about oneself. See, this awareness is very important factor to know about yourself. Unless you know about yourself, you will not be able to know about the world very clearly. You understand? And many people are not even aware of themselves, even at the very outer level, which is like the body level also. If you have seen many times, somebody has to tell a person, oh, you have become fat or you have become thin, then the person goes to the mirror and checks. Right? This is because a person is only, all our senses are directed outwards, and we don't look inward. And as you start meditating, you will be able to see all the levels of our existence much more clearly, right? There is more self awareness that dawns when you start meditating, right? And as I told earlier, there's so much of enormous energy that comes when you start meditating, because it's a source of energy, right? And obviously, as a result of meditation, you feel very peaceful from inside, right? There is some serenity that dawns. See, often we have come across two kinds of people. One set of people who seemingly are peaceful, but on the other hand, they are very lazy. People say, I'm so peaceful, I don't want to do anything. This kind of people you might have come across. There is not much use by them to the society. Okay. You will also see another kind of people where people are too busy, like they are seemingly dynamic, but they are very agitated in their mind, right? Have you seen this way? There are people who, they seem to be very dynamic in nature, but then they are very restless and very agitated. Either of these extremes are not helpful for the society. We need someone who is very peaceful from inside. The inner peace has to be there while being dynamic in their action. This unique combination can happen only through meditation. When one starts doing meditation, easily one can achieve this state where one is peaceful from inside and very dynamic in their actions from outside. Yeah, so this is also one other important thing that happens when we start doing the meditation. And as I told earlier, you know, emotions like anxiety or stress, it all goes away, because the mind totally comes to the present moment. It is only when the mind goes to the past or the future, you feel anxious and stressful and all that, right? See, there is a certain emotional stability that dawns. As I told earlier, people go into depression or aggression. This is easy. This is the extremes of the emotions people go through. But then as you start meditating, you remain stable in your emotions. This emotional stability is much needed. If you want to really be a person who people will look up to, or who people will want to come to, people will only want to come to people who are emotionally stable. If somebody is aggressive in behavior or too depressed, people won't want to be with them, isn't it? So if you want to be a person who, others would like to be with, you have to meditate, because you can maintain your emotional stability, isn't it? Yeah. And one other thing I forgot to talk about in terms of the youth, right? That's also about the attention span. These days this is one of the biggest problem among the youth, isn't it? Many times people are not able to give attention to anything beyond 5-10 minutes. How can, so if somebody very, I mean, like young person who needs to learn, you know several things, how can they learn, how can they grow if they are not able to pay attention to something beyond few minutes? It's impossible, isn't it? So once you start meditating, you will also see that your ability to pay attention to things for longer duration, this actually improves. You're able to be with the same subject for longer duration. That's when your learning can happen deeper. Otherwise you are on the outer, and people will not learn things, right? It does not even just limit to the learning. It is required, this ability is required even for any person who is doing any kind of work, right? So a longer attention span can be achieved through meditation. And one other thing is the addictions that people are suffering with right now, suffering from, right? Many people are suffering from various addiction, including social media addiction. These are also addictions, right? But as one starts meditating, these addictions drop off. Automatically, it gets dropped off. So this happens. So even for that, one has to meditate. Right? Okay, great. So I have been talking for last half an hour, a lot of things. I know, no, it's endless. The benefits of meditation is endless, and you can go on and on. Um, is there any questions from this so far? I can take one or two questions. If there are any. Yes.
Excuse me. Oh, is there any difference between Sahaj Samadhi meditation and Sudarshan Kriya?
Yes. So I would say, Sudarshan Kriya is a technique, a breathing technique, which leads you to the doorstep of meditation. It takes you to that meditative state. Very easily, one can go into that meditative state by doing the Sudarshan Kriya within 10 minutes, as you know, right? And Sahaj Samadhi is the one that takes you deeper. You can start from there and go very deep with. So it's a meditation technique by itself, right? Sahaj Samadhi is a meditation technique. You can say Sudarshan Kriya is the tool to take you to the meditative state. So both are complementary in nature. You understand what
Thank
I'm
you, sir.
saying? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other question? Rajiv, you have any question? No. Okay. So it was very nice spending time with you on this. I hope this session was very useful. Thank you so much. And if you have not done Sahaj Samadhi meditation, I really, really recommend you to do that, especially, in this month, 28, 29, 30, these 3 days, the sister of Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, she herself is teaching this program. No, she very rarely gets to teach in a year, maybe once or twice. And she is the mentor for many of us teachers. We all became teachers under her training. So it will be an amazing opportunity if you get to do the Sahaj Samadhi meditation with her. Please don't miss this chance. Yeah. So do sign up for the Sahaj Samadhi meditation and do learn it. As
Okay.
it's just 3 days, 2 hours each day you get to learn. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And tomorrow you have the Surya Namaskar challenge, right?
Yes. True.
7:30.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Jai Gurudev.
Thank you, sir. Jai Gurudev.